Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne Stampin' Up. Time to make another quick card today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Simcoe, Ontario. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, feel free to shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. So welcome everybody. And for this week's card we're going to use the Perched in a Tree stamp set again. It's in the July to December mini catalogue on page 46. Really we're only using the sentiment from this stamp set. The focal point of today's card is going to be, let me see, on page 39. And it's something you might have missed. It's an embossing folder here down in the corner called Whimsical Woodland. It's a beautiful 3D embossing folder, which means it gives you a really deep impression for your embossing. So we are going to use that today for the focal point of our card, and that folder is $13.75, and it's I think fast becoming one of my favorites. So let's get some supplies out here. We've got, what are we using? Sweet Sorbet. Now that's not my first choice for a Christmas card, but I thought it was kind of nice and it's different. So Sweet Sorbet for the base of the card, 11 by 5.5, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. I've got a piece of vellum, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and I have a piece of basic white for the inside, 5 1/4 by 4. And then I've got another piece of white 5 1/4 by 4 that I'm going to cut out a frame to go around the vellum from. And I've got a scrap of whisper white or basic white somewhere here that I can use for my sentiment. So let's think this through. So first of all, we're going to emboss the vellum using the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. So let me just put these to one side, and I'll pick up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And because it's a 3D embossing folder, we only need plates number 1 and plate number 4. Let me just straighten that up for now. So plate number 1, my piece of vellum goes in the embossing folder. Now you have to watch this folder because it runs this way and the fold is here, so you have to remember to turn it. Always put the fold to go through the embossing, machine, because it's shaped at the top corner, top edge, and that's what you need to roll through the rollers on the Stamp and Emboss machine. So let's see what we get. There we go. And if you get it going nicely, it just rolls all the way through. So let me just keep that there for a minute. There's my piece of vellum, beautifully embossed. Okay, we'll put that to one side. What we're going to use now is the stitched rectangle framelets. And I'm going to use the second size. This is the stitched rectangles, and I'm going to take this second one out and put it on a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 cardstock. Now for this I need all my plates, my 1, 2s and 3s. Out of the way. So this was where I taped it to my card, and it should pop that piece out. We're going to save this piece because you can use it on another card, but this is the piece we're going to use today, so I need to peel the tape off very carefully because I don't want to tear it. There it goes. So that's going to give me a frame to go around my vellum. Put that back on the magnetic card and we won't lose it. Okay, so this is what we've got. We've got a nice frame. Come on, pick it up. A nice frame. And we've got a nice piece of vellum that's going to sit behind it. Like that. And this is going to go on to the piece of sweet sorbet that we cut for the card base already. So let's just have a look. I'm gonna use adhesive around the sides of my frame, put it on the vellum, and then adhere that to the card so that I can see that I've got no adhesive showing out of the sides of my vellum. Okay, so here goes. Maybe here goes. Right. So I'm going to lay my piece of vellum down nicely. Take my frame and I'm going to put it down on a long side first so that I can get it nice and straight. So I'm starting right in the left corner here. Right down there. Make sure I've got no more adhesive stuck to my hands. I'm going to pick this side up and then I'm going to put the next corners down, the short sides, making sure you can't see any vellum sticking out if you can. There, and then that side should just lie down. There we go. Nicely. Now the idea for this is so that when you turn it over right sides over, you can't see any adhesive on the vellum, because as you know, adhesive shows right through vellum. Alright, so when we turn this back, we're going to turn this back, we've got the white lines to guide us, the white parts of the card to guide us for the adhesive this time. So I'm going off the edge of my cardstock because I want the edges stuck down. And you see, what you'll see is your adhesive is sticking out of the edge, past the edge of the white cardstock, but that's okay because you can always sort of roll it back when you run your finger down it. And that way you don't get any adhesive showing through the vellum. And then you pop this on your card front. Now I'm going to put it down face down first so that I can see what I've got for my border. And my border should be just slightly wider on the sides. Just a hair wider on the sides. Get my fingers out of there. There. So basically there's your card front. So now we need a sentiment. We're going to stamp, what does it say? Wishing you abundant joy and peace, and that's from the Perched in a Tree stamp set, and that's all we're going to use from that stamp set today, just that. So I've got a scrap here, scrap of card here, my Sweet Sorbet ink pad. Whoops. Now I'm going to stamp this once and maybe have to stamp it off. I'll have a look and see what I've got. No, I think that's nice. So let me close that up. Got there. And then I've got the postage stamp, the rectangular postage stamp punch. Now I'm going to punch this out once. And then we're going to punch it out again. Let me see. I'm going to bring it down and punch it to the top. Like that. Now because I've got a lot of white at the bottom, I want to take that white off. So I'm going to just use a piece of cardstock for a tail here. and put this, let me think, like this, and put this back into the punch. There. And that gives me a smaller size piece to work with. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of my sweet sorbet, and I'm going to punch it out again. I'm going to punch another shape out, another postage stamp. There. Peel this tail off here very carefully. Now before I put this on here like this, I'm going to take a piece of silver twine and I'm going to put some adhesive, Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to put it, how am I going to put it? Across here like this. It always like that. And I'm going to take my twine and just sort of make a shape with it. But I want it to stay here on the card, you see. I want it to stay right here. And I'm just going to twist it around a couple of times. Alright, and then I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of my stamped piece. And this is just going to sit right in the middle of this piece. But the reason for putting the silver thread down, it's now held in two spots. And my stamp should just about line up. There. And then we're going to trim the edges of this, the silver thread. Just a little bit there, a little bit there. Get the silver threads out of the way. And we're going to put this up on some dimensionals. There. So that's up on dimensionals, and then it looks kind of empty, you know, a little bit plain. So we can spice that up. I've got some red rhinestone jewels here. Now I know they're red, and I know that the card is pink. It is sweet sorbet. It's definitely a pink, but these red gems, because they're toned down by the vellum behind, they work really well on this card. So let me just pick up a couple, and I'm just going to pop them at the top of the Christmas trees. There, one there. And then all we need to do is find the other piece of cardstock we had, and that's just going to get popped to the inside. As always, I just leave my cards blank inside because I like to write in my cards. There. So there it is. One quick card, and it's really pretty, and it works well. I think maybe I need one more gem down there. I know it's going to be the wrong number. You're supposed to have an odd number for gems, but that's okay. Let's put one more up here. There's another tree top. There. So there it is. One quick card. Lovely card, and those red gems really stand out on this card. They really work well. Thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, if you want to copy and share this card, please do so. And if you sell your cards, please remember to put the Stampin' Up! Angel stamp on, which just says all the supplies used are Stampin' Up! Supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.